Hi there. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to every Cameroonian watching us right now. As we promised, we'll be coming on live at 7 o'clock Ambazonian time. But because of some few glitches, or technical hitches, we had to come 30 minutes later. So I'm joined on the line to Europe by Baramak, who is one of the consortium leaders, the newly appointed consortium leaders, and a very instrumental, hardworking, and diligent guy who has been working very hard to see that we win the struggle. That is the return of the two-state federalism, or if not, the return of restoration to West Cameroon. So I'll be fielding in questions in line with what Baramak will be fielding in as well. So do feel free to ask us questions. Do feel free to ask us any question that you may wish or you may want to know, be it private or public. And do feel free as well to give your suggestions. So I'll be reading questions, I'll be reading suggestions, and of course, Baramak will be fielding in these questions and suggestions. So before we begin, these are the rules of the game. Today is not a crosstalk show, but it is a talk to address the people of West Cameroon, and it's a talk to address the people's needs, and it's a talk to feel the people's pains, suggestions, and gains. So the first thing in this, before we begin, is to thank the people of West Cameroon for the diligent services they've been rendering towards the success of this struggle, and also to thank everyone who has been instrumental in whatever way, identifying your own comparative advantage and strengthening the struggle in your own little way. So we thank everyone. And above all, we also thank everyone for giving us the full support, 100% support, as we saw the transition of the leadership from the old guard to the new guard. The old guards have been arrested, but we demand for the unconditional and unflinching, and we demand for their release. They must be released unconditionally, and we are not compromising on that. And before anything holds like dialogue, these leaders, Dr. Agbo Bala, Dr. Fontem Neba, and Mancho BBC in particular, must be released. Meanwhile, we also call for the release of every other single West Cameroonian who has been incarcerated in French Cameroon prisons. So before that, I thank everyone for the courage you've been giving us. I thank you for the sleepless nights you've been the watchdog all through. And I also thank you for praying for us. Above all, prayer is the key. So I'll be going straight away to join Baramak, who joins me on the line from Belgium, that is in Europe. And of course, our security is well protected. In fact, we have fortified our security out of the country because Cameroon is not, or our living abroad is not Cameroon. So don't think, and never assume, and never think or suggest that the regime can attack us wherever we are. Never. We've alerted the security. They are watching our backs 24/7. And believe me, we are very, very well secured. And above all, God is watching over us. So Baramak, hi, welcome to the program.
Hi, Tapang Ivo. Thank you.
Good. I'll switch my camera directly to you so everyone can watch you. Yes, so that is Baramak. We thank you very much for coming on the program. I hope my video quality is clear. Okay, Mark, as we have been discussing prior to coming on the program, we appreciated each other for our good services we've been running so far to the struggle. We appreciated each other for the collaboration, for the very strong collaboration we've been giving to this struggle. And I really appreciate you especially for working with me as a brother. I really appreciate you most especially for working with me 24/7, picking up my calls. I pick up your calls. And to me, I see myself like a brother to you and not even a friend. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tapang Ivo. Thank you. Good evening to all Southern Cameroonians in Amazonia, in Africa, in Europe, and USA, Canada, in the Middle East, and where you are in the world. I want to first and foremost thank the people of Southern Cameroon for the confidence that you've bestowed upon us. No one said the tax would be easy, but you've you've embraced us. You've embraced us wholeheartedly after Dr. Bala, the head of the consortium, passed over the baton to us here in Europe. And first and foremost, I want to condemn vehemently the illegal arrest and detention of Dr. Bala, Dr. Fontaine, BBC Mancho, and most recently Chief Justice Paul Aya Abine, and all those who have been arrested before now. You know, our people have suffered enough, and I think, like Honorable Weber said, we found our voice, and as we found our voice, that voice will never be taken away from us. So I'm very much happy to join the good people of Southern Cameroon. Like my brother Tapang Ivo said, this is going to be a chat between people of Southern Cameroon and the interim consortium leaders. I only have one plea to the people of Southern Cameroon. I want to ask upon you all, wherever you are, to put us in prayers. Put us in prayers, because this battle that we have taken, we know that it is a direct challenge against the rogue regime of President Paul Biya. But we are not afraid. We are not afraid. Someday we all must die, and when we die, there would be a particular cause. So we are here to serve all people of Ambazonia, and we hope that with their support, we won't fail you. So, like Tapang said, we'll be filtering in questions from all people of Southern Cameroon. We are going to talk also heavily about the ghost towns, which is coming on Monday and Tuesdays, and every other Mondays and Tuesdays. Excuse me, every other Mondays and Tuesdays in the weeks in the weeks ahead. We have as responsibility, you know, like I said, we all are messengers. We are messengers of this struggle. Like the PCC Synod clerk said, the consortium is the people. You are the people who owns the consortium. So all of us, we have to ensure that ghost towns on Mondays and Tuesdays resumes effectively, without any. In fact, they should not fly. They should not fly on the street. Stay home, avoid provocations, because La République have exported agents of destruction, you know, to maim our people, to arrest our people, to rape our people. So I call on us all to ensure that no school resumes. Stay home, and God will fight for us. And before I pass on the mic to Tapang Ivo Tanku, let me just say this. Earlier within the day, I posted a page known as Barretta News. It happened that I read most of the comments. People were saying, "Oh, is this a Magbara? I'm not sure." No, please, let me confirm now. Let me confirm now. Barretta News page was created last year. You know, I've been running this media organization known as Barretta News, the people's platform. It is your platform. It was created last year, and because of the recent security issues and Facebook being blocked, so I thought it wise to incorporate two persons that I trust to some extent, that within, if I'm not present today, if I'm not around, if my Facebook is blocked, they're going to continue with publishing news on Facebook under the banner of Barretta News. So that page was posted by moi, Mark Barra. So do not be afraid. I call on you all to go like the page, so that it should have a huge following like Tapang and myself, like we have, so that if La République pressed one button, we are going to divert to the other area. Over to you, Tapang Ivo.
Good. All right. Thank you very much, Mark Barra, for that brilliant introduction there. And just to ask or to reiterate here that the leadership has not been all that very smooth as people could have thought, because we did not plan for this abrupt transition of leadership from the old guard to the new guard. Neither did we plan successfully how we will transition with the press releases, with the communiques, with the media contacts, and with reaching the people in another form. So bear with us. This particular week has been a very turbulent week, and bear with us. This particular week has been a very strong one for us. We've been spending sleepless nights, and of course, we have tried as much as possible to produce our signatures. So as from next week and as from today, I think earlier today, you could see that our press releases now go with our signatures. And there are so many things that we'll be talking about, including finances, because we also have people on the ground, anonymous sources and anonymous workers, volunteers, who need funding to spread our flyers, who need funding to reach those communities that are enclaved, and who need funding to also boost their morals down on the ground. It's a very, very tough fight, but it's a very, very winnable fight. And the regime, of course, has engaged in an unwinnable misadventure. There is no way the regime can ever beat us in this fight, because not only do we have God, we also have the youths. We succeeded before now to gather nearly 98% of West Cameroonians on our side, which means that we control the people, and which means that Mr. Biya has lost his legitimacy in West Cameroon. So believe us, believe yourself, this fight is a very winnable adventure, and the regime has engaged in an unwinnable misadventure. So I'll be taking the questions right now, and please do write your questions. Your questions should be very brief, straight to the point, and we'll answer your questions. Your questions may want to take the form of an interrogation, or they may want to take the form of a suggestion, or whatever. We are ready to ask the questions, be it private or public. And believe me, we'll answer your questions. So right now, I'll be reading some of the questions. Drop your questions now. I'll be reading some of the questions. But before then, as I've seen the questions not coming yet, I would like to ask Mark, what has been your greatest challenge so far with the mantle handed over to you this week?
The greatest challenge so far for me is not to fail. I'm not used to failure. I'm afraid to fail. So I try as much as possible to respond to each and everyone who writes to me. So it has not been easy, you know. Within few weeks, there has been tremendous following after the leadership was passed over to me. So I'm afraid to fail. I think that is my greatest challenge. But I'm hopeful. I'm confident that with the help of people of Southern Cameroon, with the help of people of Ambazonia, I'm not going to fail. I'm not going to fail. I strongly believe that.
All right, good. So let me bring the microphone and the camera back to me. You are saying you're not going to fail. Of course, we understand that we have been winning so far. Do you have a word of advice to people who kind of feel discouraged if victory is not coming so soon?
No. Guys, we shouldn't be discouraged. Like I said, nobody said this fight was going to be easy. No. It is going to be a very long fight. Like our leader, Tasang Wifet said, the fight is going to be a very long one. We shouldn't expect victory to come as soon as now. We shouldn't expect Mr. Biya to bow out. No. Mr. Biya and his ministers, they are going to fight. They are going to fight us with the last blood of theirs. That is why they have engaged in multiple arrests. They have arrested our leaders. They have arrested over 1,000 Southern Cameroonians over the course of this event. They even went as far as arresting their own Supreme Court judge in the person of a Chief Justice Aya. So we should be steadfast. We should be steadfast. I go back again to the daily meditations of the PCC Synod Clerk. Every morning he gave us these meditations. No, we should be steadfast. There is victory will not come as soon as now. So guys should not be expecting that as soon as tomorrow we are going to be victorious. No, it is a process, but we are already there. We are close.
Okay,
we are close. So once if we are united from east to west to south to north, as currently we are going to be we are going to be victorious. But Mr. Bia is going to fight.
All right.
And we should be ready to fight back.
Mark, there is a question for you. There is a question for us. But since you're already talking, I give you the opportunity to answer this. And this is coming from Last Man Standing. He is saying that all this talk only for federation.
Last man standing. I greet you. You have been a fervent contributor in our platform. Okay, now let me say this. I know that this question would come up. Let me say it very clear. The ultimate dream is the restoration of Southern Cameroon's independence. Like we've been saying, Southern Cameroons had its independence already on the 1st of October 1961. So we are fighting for the restoration. So that is the ultimate dream. There is no Southern Cameroonian, moi, there is no Southern Cameroonian, there is no Southern Cameroonian who doesn't love freedom. Everyone. I have conducted online pool, conducted online pool, which shows that over 90% of Southern Cameroonians were the one in independence. I go back to a small quote that someone told me. It's like you are now in upper seat. You want to get into the university. You must take the GC to get into the university. It's a process. You have to pass through that process. Otherwise, you have to fake. You have to fake the result to get into the university. Now, those who are saying that they want a two-state federation, those who are saying that they want outright restoration of independence, these two persons, I think they have various mechanisms. They have various ways in reaching their set objectives. So, like I've been saying, for us, for those who stand for a two-state federation, they look at it as a possible non-violent means to get into independence. But again, La République has shown that even federation they don't want. That is why they are killing our brothers, they are maiming our sisters. South Africa recently said, "Oh, we are done with federation." And let me make it clear: as the day goes by, La République pushes all those who are standing at the brink of a federation into independence. So last man, don't bother. I think all those who are federalists, those who are standing for the restoration of independence, they have one goal. Everybody wants the restoration of Southern Cameroon's independence, and I'm sure we are going to reach there, no matter what route we take. I hope I've answered your question to some extent.
All right, thank you very much. Yes.
Is that more for me?
Yeah, that was a question for yes, of course. But just to come in line with what you said, of course, both federalism and independence are freedoms. So be it where you stand within this wavelength, there is freedom. So we will be fighting to get anywhere in between. If we land on federalism, good enough. And if we land on independence or restoration, good enough. But know that the consortium, before handing the leadership to us, were very clear on the two-state federation. And so this means that we will continue in line with the consortium and keep our leaders safe and secured on their stands, so that they have a clear case when they are in court and they have a clear case when they are defending themselves. So we have to keep in line with the rhetoric of the consortium. We don't have to alter anything, because we have to secure our leaders. Mark, there is a question here. Someone is asking, how are we sure about our security where we are?
I think that no one is secured. Even our great leader, Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga in USA, when he was in South Africa, there was an attempt on his life. So I don't let that to bother me. I don't think too much about security, because when I start thinking about too much security, that is when the devil, will bring fear upon me. So I go about with my normal activities, but with all my senses working, and knowing fully well that what I'm doing is for the good of the people of Southern Cameroon,
Exactly.
and believing that God will protect me. It doesn't mean I should just. It doesn't mean that I should let myself loose. I should just be moving around, going to parties or no.
All
No.
right.
I make sure I watch all my possible steps. So
Yeah.
For security, let me tell people of Southern Cameroon, be assured that we are secured. President Paul Biya cannot do anything. If today Mr. Makbara goes, if today Mr. Tepang goes, there will be a new Makbara that will come forth. There will be a new Tepang that will come forth, and the cycle will continue.
Yes. And just to reiterate here that we have alerted, especially me in the United States, which is the most secured country on earth, very much on alert for terrorists like the Boko Haram and the Police Haram, and terrorists like the Biya spies. So they are very much alert wherever I am in the US. And I also relocated my city, and I relocated my town, thanks to the university where I study. They've moved me to a new university, and they have moved me away from my town. And for security measures, I've also changed my telephone number. So thank you very much for that, for the alert. And of course, no one in the US knows where I am presently. And of course, we are very much alert, and the police are very much around me all the time and waiting for the cricket to creak and to cripple and to hit and to jail and send to Guantanamo Bay. So that's a special message. Sometimes I even think, who can dare the US security? So it's impossible. Okay, good. I'll be taking another question. What is the next plan now that La République is denying to cooperate? That is from Vera Fongang. Mark.
The next plan?
Yes.
No. The next plan will be available when the next plan is available.
All right.
We know that La République is watching us. We know that they are agents in Europe, in USA, in Cameroon. They are watching.
Brilliant
the
response.
Next plan will be available when it's available.
All right. So there is another question. What is the relationship? Oh, come on. I don't know. It's not, Mark, may you help me to check on your Facebook page? You can be reading some of the questions, because I am using my phone and it's sometimes very difficult to scroll down. All right. J.K. Carr writes, what is the situation of calls and information distribution in West Cameroon? Can you mute your volume? I can hear myself talking back. But if you can read just the questions, I'll be very pleased. All right. Can you mute your volume, Mark?
Let me.
All right, good. So now, Ivo, can we together sponsor? Oh my God, I cannot really read some of these questions. Bear with me. I'm taking the questions briefly. So what about the idea of Ebenezer concerning... someone is asking, what about the idea of Ebenezer, that can we link up with him? Mark.
To
Ebenezer Akwanga. Ebenezer Akwanga, our great leader, our great passionate citizen who lives in the US and who, of course, is being haunted and hunted by the Boko gendarmes and Police Haram and the crooks from the Biya regime. So he is asking, what about Mr. Ebenezer Akwanga? That can we link up with him?
There is a good working relationship between myself and Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga. I've read online so many people asking, why is it that the consortium are not joining with Dr. Ebenezer, with Dr. Ayebacho? Why are people working in separate? Listen, there is nothing to bother. Have you seen any of them? Be it Dr. Ebenezer or Dr. Ayebacho or Mr. Kavi. Have you seen any of them comes out and said, no, don't go out for the ghost town, they have supported wholeheartedly from the first day to the last day all the actions of the consortium, because they are very much aware that what helps the consortium helps them. The end goal. Exactly. Helps the end goal of those who are fighting for the restoration of independence. So, listen, whatever actions which exposes, whatever actions which brings forth the suffering of the people of Southern Cameroon, whatever actions which shows the dark side of the regime of Paul Biya is accepted. I have a very good working relationship with Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga since I was in the University of Boya as a leader. I've read about him with the Dr. Cho. So I don't want people to listen. If there is a reason, if there is a point at which the consortium or would need the services of any persons, be it SNC, SYL, and all of that, they're going to make contacts. I don't want to deviate from what has been handed over to us. You know, the consortium said take over, and they gave us a particular objectives for us to attain. All of us know very well that the consortium stands for a two-state federation. But that doesn't mean it will not change. You might be surprised. It doesn't mean it will not change. Maybe by tomorrow or next few weeks or so, things might change. Yeah. And maybe the consortium might be talking about something else. This is a process. This is a process, and we are going to get to the end point.
So do not be hasty with your thoughts, with your emotions. Be very steadfast, be very patient, and of course, sometimes you should use your intellectual capacity, which I believe all of us have, over our emotions. So it's a gradual process. We are in communications with Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga. I've spoken with him a couple of times on phone and at length, and I believe so much in his ideologies. I believe and I respect him as not even as a brother, but as a father. And I also respect his authority, his leadership, and also his fatherly nature. And of course, believe with us, we all are working as one, and be it where you stand, we are all seeing the same thing. The same ghost town we roll out to the public, the same strategies we roll out to the public work both for federalism or separation or independence or restoration or whatever you may want to call it. So we are all working as one. But of course, at some point, as Mark has reiterated a few seconds ago, we could switch sometimes. But for now, we still maintain the goals of the consortium, which is a two-state federation, above any other thing else. So believe in us, we are working together as one. All right, Mark, maybe you'll be reading some of the questions there. I'll take some of the questions here. Are
you sure that if I'm to read, I'm not going to disturb with the volume?
Well, if you can lower the volume of your microphone, of your phone or whatever, and then lower the volume completely. Yes, and then you can scroll up. Good. All right, which country are we getting introduced? Oh, there's a question.
Which?
Let me take this other question. Please, Mark, La Republic has been... the questions are so fast. Please, can you read the questions you're seeing on your screen? I cannot scroll up. So
let me...
Yeah, just read any of the questions.
Okay, from this video. Someone said, please, Ivan Mark. That is Singapore. Please, Ivan Mark. This video thing is a good idea. My suggestion is that it should be done once a week or once bi-weekly.
Yes, of course, this is a new innovative way of reaching out to the public, and as a leader, not as those kind of fake leaders like we have President Paul Biya, who has never ever spoken to the public except during ceremonial occasions. We have to feed back with the public. That is what they call leadership and democratic accountability and the rule of law, of course. We have to be held accountable and power has to be constrained. And that is why we have to speak to the public, feel the people's pain, feel the people's gains, feel the people's struggle, and know exactly what the people are thinking. And it's a brilliant suggestion there from Singapore, as you've said. And we have to always meet once a week, probably, despite our busy schedules, and also feel the people. So let me, yeah, good. Go on with the question.
Someone Someone said that is Don Soldier. Someone said, Mr. Mark, I wrote to you privately and you haven't replied. Can you tell us your opinion on the GoFundMe by the Ambazonia Governing Council? Can you coordinate with them to make this work for the funds? Let me respond. The Ambazonia Governing Council, which is headed by Dr. Ayabacho Lucas, they are running a GoFundMe to fund the resistance. And I am talking now as Mark Barra, I support such a move. I have contributed. So if you are watching me and you know the GoFundMe from the Ambazonia Governing Council, you go there and contribute. No, we should be attacking. We should be attacking these things from all angles. I must not coordinate the GoFundMe, but know that I, as Mark Barra, an Aboriginal citizen from Southern Cameroon, I endorse such. Thank you.
All right. Okay, good. So let me take some questions. So we have a concrete plan to free our... Oh, come on. I understand your reason for standing for federation, but I don't think it is good enough. Yes, our leadership arrested stood for federalism or whatever. I think that was a suggestion. Question from Shea Timothy. What can we do to help the immediate families of our leaders detained and held and hiding because of the rogue regime? What can we do to help those families who have been detained and held hostage, and the families as well, kidnapping of the children and the rest? So what can we do, Mark?
I think what we can do to help the families is for us to continue the civil disobedience. Let me tell you.
Probably financial assistance, I think the person is asking.
About financial
assistance.
No, first, before financial assistance, we must ensure that we sustain. If it means we sustain from now till the end of this year, fine and good. Because if people of Southern Cameroon, if we make the mistake for schools to resume, if we make the mistakes to make nonsense of ghost town, then know that we must have sacrificed our leaders who have been arrested. Let me make it very clear. We must have sacrificed all those who have been arrested and all those who died within the line of this cause, and even those who died before this cause. They must have died for nothing. So first and foremost, we have the duty as Southern Cameroonians to continue this resistance to the logical end. That is how we are going to win this fight.
All right.
As for financial assistance, of course, I know that sometimes it is not easy to gather data. In December, I started a GoFundMe that was meant for this purpose, and the youth fund down in Cameroon has been doing something in line with this. Visiting one or two families. But again, as we move on, more persons are being injured, more persons are being arrested. But the ultimate question is that once we have restored our statehood, La République will pay. La République will pay. Biya will pay. Biya will pay reparations for all the harm caused to Southern Cameroonians.
All right. Okay. I think
as of now, we have a duty to maintain this resistance.
All right. I think it's a brilliant response there, and of course, let us try to make our responses very quick, brief, because we have so many questions coming in as well. All right. I have a question here for myself. That Ivo, why can't you humble yourself and work with Ayabacho Lucas and Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga? All right. Just to answer this question, I think I'm humble enough to assume the leadership of the consortium, and I am working for the consortium, and I believe that the consortium includes everybody, and I also believe, I am so open, my personal and humble suggestion is for everyone to join the consortium. And if the people hugely believe, trust, and support the consortium, I also believe that whosoever has a group working outside the country for the interests of the people back home should also be open to join the consortium. So I, Tapang Ivo, I accept the views and opinions of everyone in Southern Cameroon or West Cameroon or whatever working for the interests of the citizens. If Amazonia, as he's called, is asking me why can't I humble myself to work for the interest of to humble myself to work with Ayabacho Lucas and Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga. I would clearly respond to him. I have spoken with Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga with all due respect a couple of times and at length for at least an hour, and I respect his views on independence. And I also believe that he respects my views on dual state federalism. And of course, my views are not fixed because at minimum, I am for two-state federalism, and at maximum, and I am for restoration of independence of Southern Cameroonians. There is no single Southern Cameroonian who does not want independence. But I am a realist, and I am someone who says what is practical. At the moment, we will pressure, and as the consortium has clearly stated, we are winning, and we would get this two-state federalism. But it would not stop us at any point from achieving the ultimate goal of restoration, as Baramak has clearly stated. So I am open to welcome any group to join the consortium. I believe Mark as well. Mark, are you welcome?
Of course. Yeah. I have a question here. I don't know. Should I go on? Are you done?
Yeah, okay, you can take it off. But we are very much welcome. We are open to bring in everybody. But please, as you can form a winning, just like we've been saying, the politicians can join based on a winning political coalition. Those in the diaspora, because we understand they have splinter groups, you can clearly form a winning team. Elect someone who is strong, a representative, to join the consortium, and we make it very powerful, formidable, and in fact, we restore our goals within a very short time. So if I was a member of some group out of the country, I would quickly liaise with other groups, form a winning coalition, and elect a representative to join that consortium. Because on several occasions, we've defined the consortium as a group of organizations represented by individuals who were elected by those individual organizations. So that is the foundation, that is the source, that is the raison d'etre for the formation of that consortium. Okay, let me go back to you, Mark. Maybe you have something to say in line with that.
Yes, someone. I'm trying to.
All right.
Someone said the things are going very fast.
They are going very fast. I have that problem too as well. All right. So if the UN and AU wants to come in to talk with our nations now, how do we get to people of our side? Can our leaders be more available for foreign bodies to reach them? Mark.
You see, if UN or AU wants to come in, of course, there are persons who are always ready. I'm not saying that the consortium, Tapang and myself, we are ready. No, but we have representatives. We have people on the ground. We have people abroad who, within few minutes or so, organize themselves to face the UN. I think the Amazonian Governing Council has been doing that. We also have the other like the SYL, SNC, and what have you. No, you see, Southern Cameroons, the people of Southern Cameroons, we don't lack persons to represent us. You know, and the way UN and AU functions, these are all gentleman club with their interest. You know, you have to trade something. You know, France is protecting Mr. Paul Biya, and if US need to come in, if Britain need to come in, these people behind the scene, they have to work something out. No, but if we need them to come in, we have to do something serious for them to come in.
All right, good. Okay, Mark, there is a question here about the use of violence and the use of peace. Someone is asking, why do we keep preaching peaceful approaches towards the restoration of freedoms in Southern Cameroon and not violence?
The truth is that at the end of the day, whether you kill or you don't kill, we have to come back on a dialogue table. I think there is a need for us to continue preaching a peace, because violence doesn't help anyone. We have to look for all non-violent ways to bring La République on the dialogue table. Yeah. For example, the ghost towns, it hurt it hurts La Republique so much. If we refuse to pay taxes, it's going to hurt La Republique. If we make sure that the 11th of February is boycotted totally and completely, like the Consortium has earlier announced during their 9th press release, it will send a very strong message. Imagine that in Cameroon, in La Republique, you have schools marching on the 11th of February, a day which does not even concern them, But us, those of us that our parents voted to join La Republique in a so-called union, which did not, at the end of the day, materialize, we stay at home. So I think there are all possible non-violent ways that we can use, and within the course of history, we have seen that with Martin Luther. We have seen that with Gandhi. I know for sure that there has to be some element of pain.
All right.
Element of pain, but you don't expect me to start saying certain things here online.
All right, good. Yeah, of course, we'll not be revealing our strategies online, but just to reiterate here that we are engaging in full, unrelenting, and unrepenting civil disobedience that will sweep across the West Cameroon. And believe us, we're going to win this peacefully. For the very first time, you can see across West Cameroon the massive arrest of all leaders. In fact, a sweeping arrest of all our West Cameroon leaders, including the untouchables like Aya Paul, who has immunity, and including burning attempts to strip off the immunity of our MPs, whom we collectively elected, voted, fought for on the 9th or on the 11th of, September or whatever, during the elections in 2011. We went to the streets to elect these people whom La République wants to strip off their immunity. But we accept that their immunities could be stripped off, but MPs should resign and join our forces. MPs should resign and come and side with us, because as long as they keep working for La République, as long as they keep going to that kangaroo parliament, it makes no sense. They should come and join that formidable force, and of course it would raise more international alarm than national alarm, and of course it would also touch more on the International Parliamentary Union. There is an International Parliamentary Union. It would touch them, and they will step into Cameroon. On every front, we have to win this peacefully. Secondly, violence can never drive out violence. Hate can never drive out hate. Only love can do that. Darkness will never drive out darkness. Only light can do that. If you have a dark room, you flush in darkness, it would never take out darkness. If you have a very dark room, you flush in just one candle, it takes out the darkness. That is why our approach is a non-violent approach. Our approach, we denounce all forms of violence, torture. We denounce every single form. And especially as we've now had the leadership of the interim leadership of the consortium, we will keep advocating for non-violent approaches towards restoration or towards giving us our two-state federalism. So believe us, just follow exactly what we say, and collectively we are going to win this. No one should fool you, should deceive you, pay you, hire you to use violence in any form. No. Civil disobedience is the key. And of course, our West Cameroon must be unconditionally, immediately demilitarized before any talks can hold. It must be demilitarized before our children can go to school. It must be demilitarized before we can think of a way forward. Until then, our leaders must be released. And until then, keep advocating for non-violent approaches and keep being united, because we have to see that this ghost town works effectively. Good. Mark, let me go back to you. Maybe you have a question.
Mr. Is it Vivian Ekeme? I think it's going very fast. What is the stand of Nijon Fundi and Ben Muna in line with this struggle? I think I didn't get the name. Well, Mr. Ni John Fundi, I think since the beginning of this protest, the SDF has thrown its weight heavily behind the teachers and lawyers trade union. The SDF has also thrown its weight behind the consortium, and we all know the objective of the SDF. But on a personal note, I've been saying this all through along. There is only one thing that can get Mr. Biya to shiver. Already, the actions of the regime now, infesting our towns, arresting all the leaders, that shows that the regime is panicking. But Mr. Nijon Fundi can make Paul Biya to bow. How? Mr. Fundi should ask his MP. Like I said, let the MP in La Republic Parliament resign and convene in Buea. That would be a game changer.
Yes.
Mr. Fundi should ask his MP, resign and... What do we want again? What
do you want again?
People have been arrested.
Yes.
People have been killed.
All right.
Our streets occupied. This is not
this
the union
nonsense.
It
is nonsense.
And the others,
exactly.
And the others wanted. No.
Exactly.
Our MPs, if they keep staying in La Republic Parliament, they legitimize the
power
to the international community.
Yes.
If today we have all SDF MPs, forget about this
kangaroo MPs. Yes.
They call them CPDM. No, if we have SDF MPs, if they resign and converge in Buea, it will be a game changer.
All right, good. Mark, just to reiterate here, we are the ones who elected the MPs. True or false?
Of course.
Were they appointed?
Of course. They were elected.
Good. They were elected. So we unanimously call for the resignation and for the stripping of the immunity, as La Republique would want to put it, of these MPs. It would be a game changer and an advantage for us.
They should resign. They should resign and come home. And in Buea, we have a state house in Buea. They should resign and come home, and the game will change.
All right.
That is when the UN would come in.
Okay, and the International Parliamentary Union, the IPU. Okay, just to come here, there's a question. Ivo, Mr. Speaker, you keep preaching peace while our leaders, citizens have been arrested. All right, good. I keep preaching peace while our leaders have been arrested. Should I preach violence? I don't get it. You want me to preach violence, like going to war, something, or going to pick up arms, or what kind of arms do we even have? Or we are just look at demographics, we are just 8 million of us, and the West, and the East rather, they are not willing to let go. And do you think you can win this if you use the cost-benefit approach in security studies? Far, when analyzed from every logical, empirical standpoint, we will not only lose the fight, but we will lose our legitimacy to win a winnable adventure. I don't know if you get me clearly. So, if you use violence, we will lose our legitimacy immediately. We will lose our international solidarity already. You can see international actors. You can see international bodies. The AU immediately reacted. Of course, Mrs. Zuma immediately reacted to what was happening in West Cameroon when the internet was cut off. So if we try and dare use emotions to push violence above peace, we will lose everything. At this stage, Mark, can you tell me if we are losing?
Of course, no.
Of course, no. No one disagrees. This is,
like you said, we are winning, and we are winning fatly.
Fatly. And this is the only protest in Cameroon's history that has successfully, contemporary history, that has successfully united every single West Cameroonian to stand for their rights, to look at a common leadership, and to push forth relentlessly, irrespective of the barriers and the hurdles that have been sent to choke us. This is the only winning protest so far in modern contemporary history that has an end in sight. And the end is freedoms, be it two-state federalism or the restoration of West Cameroonians' history. So, Mark, let me go back to you. Probably you have some questions.
My phone just got freeze.
Okay, let me take some questions here. We want all MPs back home. This is T. Says we want all MPs back home and every teacher in La Republique to resign or something. Yeah, good. Honestly, I love this conversation, but I think, that went on quickly. Sorry, bear with me. You may just want to repeat your questions because we keep having this glitch. All right, how many MPs are you talking about? There are only 14 SDF MPs in the Northwest and Southwest respectively. One of the Southwest and 1 from Southwest and 13 from Northwest. Most senators and MPs are very angry or something. Of course, the resignation of one MP, get me clearly, they may be 14, but the resignation of one MP is a strong signal that goes directly to the IPU, that's the International Parliamentary Union, that goes directly to the La Republique, and that sends a strong signal to the international bodies. So don't minimize one MP resign, and don't minimize 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and even 14 MPs resigning. It is huge. Don't minimize that. Don't. All right, good. Let me take another question. The entire West Cameroon should have ghost towns on Mondays and Tuesdays to finally topple Biya. That is from Paul C.V. Yonke. Our objective is not to topple Mr. Biya. I don't know if I'm right, Mark.
Yes,
The objective, don't derail the attention of this struggle. The objective, nowhere do we have in the consortium's goals as a regime change. We have a non-regime change seeking agenda. We don't seek to topple the regime. We seek to change a political system that has been dubious and dubiously identified or labeled as a unitary system. Get on, Mark. Go on.
I will say, if at the end of the day, Mr. Biya falls, it's a plus to our borders in La Republique.
A big plus.
That our utmost objective is not to topple the government of Paul. No. Our utmost objective is to restore, is to bring back our statehood, which was taken from us.
To bring back our dignity.
Yes, we are an annexed people. If within the course of the struggle, Cameroonese, those in La Republique rise up against Paul Biya, fine and good. Whatever goes, he's a dictator. Whatever goes, but that is not our objective. That's not our objective.
All right, good. Okay, so I can see some people saying no violence, no violence, no violence. Of course, no one wants violence. The moment we will use violence, it goes contrary even to the United Nations Charter. It goes contrary to all international instruments, even the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. It goes contrary to our own constitution. Of course. It goes contrary to our own constitution, even the constitution of the British Southern Cameroons. It goes contrary to the constitution of La Republique. And of course, it goes contrary to our own intrinsic human values. Our human value is not that of violence.
Ian Kiku is asking, is the consortium lobbying with international groups apart from the UN and EU? I think I'd like to say that the consortium is just a few months old. As time goes by, the consortium
expands.
Will keep expanding, bringing in actors, legal team, people from all angles. It is rather unfortunate that they arrested the brain child of this consortium. But those of us as interim leaders, we are still in direct contact with most of the leaders of the consortium back home.
Yes.
Through indirect channels.
Mark, you may just want to reiterate what Tasang, our leader, who is being held or who is seeking asylum somewhere in one of the Western embassies. You may just want to read or reiterate what he said to us about a strike.
Yeah. I think he mentioned that we should not give up. He mentioned that victory is close. He actually sent a text message. For now, some of you wanted him to send a short video, but that is not feasible for now. But trust us, in the near future, that will come. But the message from Mr. Tasang Wilfred is that we should not give up because victory is close. We should not give up.
And above all, he said never accept the return to schools.
Good.
Yes, those were his
good.
words.
You see, like I said, the school year is already over. Why? Which, in fact, I don't think people should be thinking about going back to school. No. It is already it is gone. Nigeria stood for almost a year and so. Ghana, can you imagine that Southern Cameroonians from Cameroon, if you apply in schools abroad, they ask you to take the TOEFL, the English stuff. You have studied throughout your life from primary to university, and go out and they ask you to take TOEFL. Why those in Nigeria and Ghana, they don't ask them? Why? Because La République has portrayed Cameroon into the international community as a French country. So then I even lost that the Cameroon is a bilingual country. So enough is enough. We must claim back our state. We must.
All right,
so
Mark,
there is this. And fight for statehood.
Don't be angry, Mark. There is this question.
I'm not angry. I'm just vexed. So yeah. Go on, my
there is this question again that says that we are a youthful leadership. Does it pose any challenge to the struggle that we are youths? I mean, like, I think he's referring to our ages or something.
I'm not sure, because from the moment that our leaders in Cameroon signed and said Tepang Ivo and Mark over, you take over the public, I can say 99% of you graciously, without any reservation, embrace us. You have accepted us. You have said that we should lead. You have your reasons of accepting Mark Barra and Tepang Ivo, because probably you have seen that we have been consistent and we have exposed ourselves. It's okay. We want to take this fight to the logical end. So I don't think as youth, yes, sometimes we have too much of adrenaline passing through us. You know, we can also react spontaneously.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we have our parents that we also go back and say, Daddy, do you think this decision is okay? They also guide. So no one is left out. No one is left out. All the communiques that you have seen out from us, it has been a collective work with everyone. You know, the youth, our elders back home, everything. So I don't think the youthful leadership is a problem. After all, majority of Southern Cameroonians are youth.
I mean, 98% of Southern Cameroonians are youth.
This is a moment, and
very
we
brilliant.
Have to claim what belongs to us. It is our time.
Very brilliant. Brilliant comment. All right, good. Okay, Mark, there is a question. Mark and Tapang, please, you guys should talk about the school year. I don't know. We've spoken about the school year enough. We've said we are reiterating one fact. There is nothing to talk about the school year except that it should be stopped. Right or wrong, Mark?
The school year has already
stopped. Literally. Yes. In practice.
It has already stopped. After 3 months not going to school, what are you going to learn? When you're going to come up? Please, Southern Cameroonians should just accept that we have sacrificed this
school year
to get back our statehood. Just believe that. You see, why La République is fighting so hard is that they don't care if you study. They are fighting so hard because at some point in time, UNESCO is going to cancel the school year for the entire country. Yesterday, I posted a video on my timeline. That video came from CRO TV. The boss of the UNESCO or the representative, it was in French. He explained very well that by next week, this week coming, by Friday, if nothing is done, the school year will be cancelled. But he said, if the government, hello?
Yes, Mark, I can hear you.
Am I
yes,
there?
You're clear.
Yeah. He said if the government could organize extra lessons, maybe during Saturdays and weekends to capture, then the school year will not be cancelled. So it is our duty to ensure that this no school resumption moves on till Friday after.
All right.
After Friday, there will be good news. So parents, keep your kids home.
All right.
Why should we be going to school? Why Dr. Pontem and the rest are are in prison. Why?
Why?
What for?
And these are all academics. Not only is Dr. Agbobala a barrister at law, but he is also a lecturer in the University of Boya. And he's been advocating seriously for the common law to be reinstated or to be introduced in the University of Boya curriculum, which I strongly support. And we cannot go to school when our teachers have been arrested. Who is going to teach us the law? Who is going to teach us the English, as Dr. Neba Fontem is an English lecturer? And of course, what about the other students who have been arrested? Even students as young as 16 have been arrested. We need to go to school with every single Cameroonian who has been arrested. They must be unconditionally released from prison before anyone can think of sending a kid to school, or before anyone can think of putting his or her butt on that school bench. Mark, I just want to come in here with one suggestion about the diaspora. Do you think the diaspora has a very strong role to play here, considering that the internet has been cut off to the entire West Cameroon, and considering that the regime has bad faith towards the spread of information, the expression of people's opinions, and the imparting knowledge to people's heads, sinking the information down into the heads of people? How can the diaspora act at this stage?
Mr. Ivo, we have to look back at history. Before the independence in African states, we saw the role that the diaspora plays. Look at other countries around, what the role that the diaspora plays. Listen, at this point in time, the diaspora, the fight is now on us.
Yes.
We have to continuously, like what I've been saying, we have to continuously make calls back home.
Yes.
Text bulk messages.
Yes.
Text our people in La République to text our people in West Cameroon.
Yes.
Or you text directly our people in Southern Cameroon. We have that duty to call, to make that call continuously. And again, we are just told that by tomorrow,
what's up?
Credit transfer will stop within West Cameroon, because they have realized that even without internet, everybody is aware. Everybody is aware that Monday and Tuesday there is ghost town. That Monday, in fact, that the school year is over. So they're doing everything possible to truncate our communication. But guess what? The struggle has been ordained by God, and we shall succeed.
All right, Mark. Okay, just to come here with a suggestion. I want to bring in this suggestion by asking you one question. At least, how many family members do you have back home?
That information is classified.
Good. But let's say 20, for example, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you call all these 20 people religiously a month, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if we call these people, believe me, we all have families because we come from a social construct. Because Africans by nature are socially constructed, interwoven. So if I pick up my phone to call someone back home, I send the information. Tell this person to tell this other person to say that, spread this information. We don't even need bulk messages if we implement this strategy. If we implement this strategy of waking up every morning from our diaspora beds to call back home a friend, a family, to tell them exactly and to insist that don't go to school, and to say you should not go to school, and tell a neighbor or 3 other people around you not to go to school. Believe me, that works massively, because the people trust you even better than a bulk message which I send and which is anonymous. I don't know if you get it. The people back home trust their relatives abroad better than someone they don't know, or even the gangster regime. So please, if you live in the diaspora, pick up your phone and call back home and tell a family member and tell a friend to tell 3 other friends about the same message we preach on Facebook. Simply call. The cheapest ways to call are online. Cheapest apps, Keku and the rest. Please do this. It's less than $10. You talk for more than 50 minutes. 50 minutes, you can call 50 people within 1 minute. Please do this and network the entire West Cameroon. Do this and you mesh. You have to mesh. We have to web the entire West Cameroon with our calls. We have more or nearly 1 million Cameroonians living abroad, including their children who have been born out of the country. We have more than that. And we have families, millions of families back home, and we can network. Information spreads like wildfire. Thank you very much for that. Mark, maybe you are reading some of the questions. Go on.
Someone said, Funkem Eugene said, Wiba should not resign. His resignation may lead to his arrest, as we are already hearing. If they decide to strip his immunity, they will alert us of the next step against him. Yes, of course. What we are saying is that we are not asking individual MPs should resign. I think it should be the decision of the SDF. We are calling on the SDF chairman, John Frundi, to instruct us as the chairman of his party. It should be an official decision, which NEC has to sit. Make a very long communication. With all the mindfuls, quote all the laws, quote the resolution 1608 of UN. Quote how the union came about, the field union. It should be an official decision. That's okay. Now the SDF is now requesting all the MPs, and a special form, one form should be designed so that if people want to arrest all the MPs, they arrest everybody at once. That is how resistance works. If we start saying that you alone should resign this, then we shoot ourselves in the leg. At the end of the day, we want all of them alive. We want all of them going around. Honorable, he has done enough already, to stand in the dungeon in La Republic Parliament and challenge La Republic. That was a great step back. He can go further.
All right, now there is this question from Collins Mensa who asks, can we form an interim committee of the consortium abroad with the financial department? This is too heavy for you guys.
I think I've received those suggestions from so many persons. One person in UK called and said he has a letter that he has written to the consortium. He wants to send it to me as a formal request that there should be a branch of the consortium in UK so that he can. You see, what I'm saying is that we have to be very careful. We don't want a situation where we don't have that type of power yet. We're given a mandate, specified mandate. As it stands, Dr. Bala and Dr. Fontem and the rest, they are still the leaders. They have not resigned. We are just coming in to
hold
it,
gap, to hold yes.
the gap. So yes. we cannot start studying degrees and Europe from this, USA from this. No. We are still.
And Mark, be very watchful.
We are still very limited.
Mark, be very watchful, please, because we should be very watchful because the regime has sent spies to bribe even Anglophones, West Cameroonians living abroad, suffering abroad, bribe them with millions of francs CFA and with thousands of dollars to form coalitions and send us messages that they could also form a consortium so that they can directly fracture us. They have tried arresting leaders in Cameroon thinking that by arresting them, they would puncture the consortium. But within a few hours, there was a smooth transition of leadership. And coming to the diaspora, the regime would want to take the fight to the diaspora by probably hiring a few people to see ways of fracturing the consortium. Believe, as Mark says, Mark, I will come back to you. Believe, as Mark says, the leaders, the legitimate leaders, are still Dr. Agbobala, Dr. Neba Fontem, and Mr. Tassan Wilfred, whom we have honorary raised as a doctor. Dr. Tassan Wilfred. He is being held in the Western Embassy. Of course, we have honorary raised him as a doctor. He's been held in the Western Embassy. And those are still our legitimate leaders, and they have not been stripped of their powers, and they still have the powers, and they still call the shots, even from their prison cells. Go on, Mark.
Yes, just to add that we should not give the regime the opportunities to start, the consortium in the diaspora leads. But though we are leading, we are still working with a number of persons. If we read the decree that Dr. Bala signed, he said Tapang Ivo will keep leading while other men and women along the line will join. So if we are in a haste, we are going to crash. The most important thing is that as of now we are one. We have one objective. We are one. That's the most important thing. We communicate. We respond to any innuendos coming from the government. Like this morning, when the government fake our names with communicate saying that the strike is cut off, we responded immediately. I think that's what we want. We should not be too careful about
forming groups, positions, and the rest.
That will come, but I think. Let this thing take it's a normal pace.
Turn. Yeah.
It should move.
Don't be hasty. Be patient. Yes.
Cuts or rooms for the regime to infiltrate us.
Wonderful suggestion, boss. All right, good. I think Mark has clearly answered that question, and I also think that we should be very patient. This is not a fight of haste. In fact, we are gradually walking on a slippery slope. Like Englishman go talk, the first step on a slippery slope. We cannot be taking a hasty step on a very slippery slope. We have to take our time. We should be very careful, because if we take a quick step on a slippery slope, believe me, we will go down and will never rise up. So please.
Let me come in with this.
Go on.
Monte Paul said manifestations abroad should also target major houses. This will help spread out the message about our struggle. Yes, and let me just say this now formally. I think those in the diaspora, UK already started, Brazil followed, Dubai followed. So I'm calling on everyone, those of us in the diaspora, from Nigeria to South Africa to USA to Canada to Europe, everywhere. We should take this thing to another level.
Yes.
When we go out to protest, don't just go out and put on SNC t-shirts, hold it and sing and take pictures. No, that is not. Our objective is not to show to make a gallery of pictures. No.
Yes.
Our protest should be meaningful. Should be focused. Should be meaningful. At the end of the day, we should be able to say, okay, this is what we have achieved through this protest. So therefore, when we go out, prepare.
All right. Okay. So Mark, that said, before I cut you, that said, can we send a communique tomorrow, latest even tomorrow, to say next week, as we would observe one of the most successful ghost towns without communications, breaking the network, the diaspora as well must go to the media houses, the top leading newspapers or TV stations, wherever they are, and protest in front of those houses.
No, I think how it functions. My proposal is that those of us in the diaspora, once they organize themselves, in the diaspora, you have to, in some areas, you have to inform 2 or 3 days before that you are coming. They should organize themselves. They should officially invite these media houses
to cover
that. They should come and cover. I've seen it in Canada. Those in Canada, they always invite media houses to come and they broadcast it. And we should also take those embassies, especially French embassies, British embassies. We can come. We can go on hunger strike in front of those embassies. We can come there, take them hostage, and say they have to listen, because the fact that La Republic has cut off Southern Cameroons from internet is a planned act to perpetrate genocide. And we are saying this, and the international community, they are staying quiet, because what is happening now in Southern Cameroon is that there is already an act of genocide going on. Yes, I'm saying that there's already an act of genocide going on. People are being arrested, and parents get up in the morning. They don't see their children. Their kids. Today, a teacher in Campbell was abducted. The military, when they went to Professor Abangwa's home, they didn't see him. They abducted 7-year-old son. This has to stop. Something dangerous is going on. in a corner. They went into the homes, break houses, bundled youth in Munya. In fact, there have been rampant arrests of our young men.
Yeah.
So as to break us. So
it must stop.
Those of us in the diaspora, we have the duty to call the attention of the international community
yep.
through our protests.
Yep. Tell
them that this is what is happening. It's not about something about independence. No, all this. No, we have to tell them that there is a planned genocide going on.
All right.
The fact that they have to get us from internet, they are stopping us, our people from sending pictures and information to the outside world. We have to stop it now before Rwanda happens in southern Cameroon.
Mm-hmm. Good. Tris Abe says we need arms for self-defense. I don't think so. Do you think so, Mark?
Arms for self-defense?
Yes.
No. We don't. In fact, I'm shocked that somebody would even be asking that question. Do you expect Mark Barra to come online and say yes, we need arms for self even if we need arms for self-defense, I should come and say yes. No. There are certain things that we should be asking. It's the same thing that I was watching Dr. Akwanga 2 days ago live, and somebody was asking that what do you want to do with the money? Do you want to buy arms? And Kwanga was laughing. Of course, he has to laugh because you expect him to come and tell you that this money they are contributing, this is how we do. No. Remember that La Republic is watching. We know that they are watching. We know that there are good people behind us to watch us so that they should record us where they can get us legally. We know. We are saying that we're not calling for arms. What we are calling for a non-violent approach. And we are already winning in terms of that. In some days to come, maybe after consultation, we are going to also propose other forms of a boycott that will hurt, that will inflict a cost on the La Republic.
All right, good. All right, so Mark, you may want to be reading some of the questions. Someone says, "Ivo, please stop interrupting Mark when he's talking." All right, thanks. All right.
Someone said.
Go on.
Someone said that's past that Mayor Ekema is going house to house to force parents to send their kids to school.
We will deal with him. Never mind. We will deal with him. Okay.
Don't address Mayor Ekema.
Yes.
I should not even say mayor.
No. He's not a mayor because his immunity has been stripped off and he was not elected. The case of Ekema is a very unique one. This man was not elected by the people. He simply gained authority because Bella Mokichas, who was the mayor, suddenly was appointed or was elected as the senator. So Bella could not hold two positions at once. Mark, come in.
Well, I think what I wanted to say, if I throw it out now, Mr. Kema would have some high blood this evening. But I think that I want to speak directly to the people of Boya. If anyone who comes from Boya, I know those in Boya are not watching us now. But if you come from Boya, please call and ask your parents to not hit you the call. You know, if Mayor Kema comes and knock the door and say, "Mommy, send your begin to school tomorrow," just ask him, "What for?" What for? So don't bother. I'm confident that on Mondays and Tuesdays ghost tanks will be complete and total. I'm confident that our kids, our brothers and sisters will stay home. Mm-hmm. Let me raise this alarm. Before coming online, I was told by one of the sources that La Republique has bundled children from Douala. Already they're in Boya. They have been camped somewhere in Boya, and on Monday they will go to school, led by the military, and some of them will protest. Some of them will protest at Bongo Square, saying that we want to go to school. We want to go to school. Forget those are all
staged.
dying kicks of the regime.
Okay.
Forget.
All right. So
don't mind that.
So let me take a few questions. Do we think the UN and other international bodies want to see the interest of Ambazonia coming in? That's neck F skin. I think Nick, your question is so easy to answer. Everybody wants to see the interest of people being solved. Human rights abuses are intolerable across the world. All right, Ongolong says, you are accomplices of that genocide with your divisive secessionist option. That is Ongolong. Ongolong Ombano. Someone is writing Mark. We are, that is you and I, are accomplices of the genocide with your divisive secessionist option. Why does that international community not following you actually? Maybe because it is against a new state in Africa. So, first of all, just to react to that comment, the person is saying that we are accomplices of a genocide because of our secessionist option. Are we for secession? I don't know if we will talk for pidgin before these francophones they understand, and because I understand the man a francophone person. Are we for secession? The consortium, which we are manning the leadership.
Can I even come?
Yes. We are for a two-state federation. So you have to address that point in your beginning statement. Secondly, divisive option. How? Majority, 8 million or nearly 10 million West Cameroonians have been arrested, have been abused, have been marginalized, have been inequalized, if I may borrow an English word like that. For nearly 55 years, you have never looked at it as divisive. Then we are rising up for our rights, and you say we are divisive. We are divisive. Are you mad? Are you really sick in the head? Are you sick in your head? Really? You must be sick, and you must seek a psychiatrist. Go to your French hospital, Hôpital Jameau. Hôpital Jameau. Go to Hôpital Jameau by CRT in Balade and seek a psychiatrist to cure you of your mental disorder. You need one. My God.
Mr. Evo, the truth is that there is nothing like secession. That's the truth. That's the truth. La République was the one who seceded in the so-called union when in 1984, they have to change the name of the country from a united to just La République. So why are we talking about secession? La République cannot win any case in any court of law in Cameroon or internationally charging any of us of secession because it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
What
Mark,
we are fighting for?
Mark, a leader single-handedly changed from a unitary system or from a federalism system to a unitary system in 1972. Did anybody revolt against that? Did anybody revolt against that? It is very possible for this to be changed to a two-state federation. There is nothing impossible about it. You don't even need the international community to come to do this. It is a political decision, and it's the will of the people, and it's the will of the people for dialogue to prevail for this to happen. It is only in undemocratic countries, in democratures. Democrature is a word for dictatorship disguised as a democracy. It is only in a democrature that you will see a leader denying dialogue with its own people. We need dialogue, and we must push for dialogue, and we are not begging Mr. Pobia, and we are not begging for dialogue. It is our inalienable right to exercise, to express our opinions and our views, and push forth. And it's also a right under international human rights law for self-determination. So it is not even illegal to seek secession, or if I may argue for people who are seeking secession. It is not illegal. It is a right. It is a right for self-determination under state sovereign laws. It is a right.
Are we saying, Mr. Ivo?
Go on.
Few days ago, 2 days ago, the African Commission of Human and People's Rights sent out a communique condemning the action and reminded Mr. Biya that the people of, in quotes, Anglophone Cameroon, they have the right to freedom, they have the right to express themselves, they have the right to assembly, and most importantly, they have the right to self-determination. People of Anglophone Cameroon
but
have the right
Mark,
to self-determination.
Mark, that is clearly stated in the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, the Banjul Charter, as you may want to call it. It is also clearly stated in Article 20, the right to association. The Article 20 of the UDHR, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 1948. It is clearly stated the right to self-determination. If these French-speaking citizens, a few of them, who are the ones choking the majority with false information, if they can only read just a little bit of information, of knowledge will not harm your heads. Please. A little bit of information will not harm your heads. It will not harm.
I think let's take one or two questions, then we can conclude.
All right, go on, Mark. If you have some questions there, you are reading from your phone as well. Go on.
Yeah. Someone said, I think they're just showing an insult on the guy.
All right, okay, Mark. Okay, let me. Someone says the problem now is our parliamentary representative. They should cut off from the parliament. Of course, we've addressed that already. I am a psychiatrist, Ivo, and I will gladly volunteer my service for that guy. Oh my God! All right. Yeah. No, of course he should go to Hospital Jamo. You know, the first person who opened the hospital or whatever was Dr. Eugene Jamo, 1939. That was the guy who came to West Cameroon. He was treating trypanosomiasis, sleeping sickness. And from there,
someone said,
go on.
Petit Kajak said, has the Consortium made any relationship with neighboring African countries to support our cause?
Mm-hmm. But Mark, don't you think it's too early? That is too, because we have just taken leadership just 3 days ago. We are still settling. I mean, the dust is yet to settle in this transition. Please give us some time. Of course, we are still trying to get documents from what our incarcerated leaders have been keeping all this while. But believe me, we need action both nationally and internationally. And we are ready. Mark, are you ready? We are ready to move from countries to countries to advocate and to see that the plight of the people of West Cameroon are clearly met and that the people should be respected, if not as equals, but given their right to self-determination.
We are ready to travel from one country to another to La Haye to talk, to dialogue, to come up with ideas, to see. You see, our leaders in Cameroon, they knew why they had to transfer power to Europe. So I think we are ready. We are ready to move from Germany to USA to South Africa to Canada to Middle East to Russia to everything, to speak with our various groups to see how we can come out with something big for this movement. Myself, I'm very much available to engage into this. It is a call. It's a call that the people has given to us, and I think
of course
we can do it.
All right, Mark, do you have any suggestion about the mountain race and Women's Day? The mountain race coming up in Boya.
When is the mountain race again?
I think it should be in February, right? It should be February. The mountain race always takes place in February. That should be boycotted as well.
You are talking about Women's Day?
No, the mountain race, that Boya mountain race. It's in February. Women's Day is on the 8th of March.
What are they going to do with us?
Of course.
Southern Cameroon is locked down. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? All
right.
Southern Cameroon is locked down.
All right, good.
We take these things step by step. We are not going to reveal strategies online. Say that this and this.
Okay.
But Southern Cameroon is locked down. People are ready. If you can see from Oku to Akwaya to Bangem, everywhere, people are ready.
Okay, a quick question here, Mark. Someone is asking, please, that's from Leo McDelf. Please, what can you tell us about the ongoing Maurice? Maurice is the movement for the restoration of Southern Cameroon. The ongoing Maurice Congress in the U.S. Someone is asking that question. Go on.
Yes, Maurice, I think, is led by our most venerated journalist, Bo Herbert, someone that I respect so much, I admire so much. When I hear him speak,
my God,
I have to play his audio over and over just to hear him speak. He has that authoritative, voice, good diction, and all of that. For me as a Mark Barra, I don't have any problem with these groups, Maurice and so.
Yeah.
Any group which ultimate objective is the end point, I am fine with it.
Good.
So I think Maurice has given a roadmap, and they have declared 1st of October 2017 as the restoration of independence. They also said every Mondays there should be ghost towns. Fortunately for them, the Consortium said every Mondays and
ghost towns.
They also said
civil disobedience
and 20 May should be boycotted. Fortunately for them,
we are also in that.
And 20 May
exactly.
So I think that actions which Maurice would call and which we think that our people can engage without harming themselves. We should engage. Mr. Herbert Bo, he has been one of those. He has supported through his writings, through his audios. He has supported the consortium very well. Dr. Ayabacho, Mr. Kavi, Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga, all of them. I've not seen any of them in my private discussions with them.
Mr. Kavi, you're talking about Sheikh Yabo.
All of them.
Yes.
Yes. All of them. They support. They support. We might have some differences in
just slight differences, but it's not a major thing. Those are not.
But I think all of us want the best
for the
people
country.
Of Southern Cameroons.
We are for the same solutions. So we may just differ in terms of a little bit. Don't be distracted by federalism, independence. That's not the focus. It will not take us anywhere. We are implementing the same strategies collectively, and we are all contributing towards the same objectives. So we are winning. Mark, let me ask a quick question for you. What Dr. Susungi stands for in this struggle? That's a question from Julius Ortiz.
Dr. Susungi.
Yes.
Dr. Susungi, earlier, from what I know, is standing for what we call the United Republic of Cameroon. Cameroon with a K. With a K. I think he has a vision where the state, the Senate will be in a Bamenda. All these institutions will be scattered between all the various regions. But as of now, what I know is that Dr. Susungi is for the total restoration of Southern Cameroon's independence.
Okay, brilliant point. Another question again. Sorry, I'm the moderator.
No problem. Right on.
Yes. All right. The position of Frundi is in question. Someone is asking Fosim Mock Clovis. The position of Frundi is in question.
Now,
go on.
Now, let me say this. No one should attack Mr. Frundi.
Yes.
As of now, we need everyone on
board.
On board. Attacking Mr. Frundi is not the best option. A few weeks ago, we heard an audio from someone who recorded Mr. Frundi, and when you push people say things. So no one should. We don't want people to start attacking politicians. But we need everybody. We need everybody.
Wasn't the same Frundi who led the protest, the largest protest ever in Boya's history, contemporary history, as a senior citizen? Go on.
And Mr. Ivo, the protest that Frundi led in Boya, it took this movement to a very high
level.
To a high level.
Thank you very much.
There in Boya, people refused to sing the national anthem.
Thank you.
People said, no, we're not going to sing. People held their independence flag. So,
and that was the protest that stripped CPDM of the immunity in Boya, and that was the protest that stripped Mr. Ekema Patrick of his immunity.
Mr. Ivo, we may have our little differences with Frundi, but I cannot condone, I cannot support all of persons attacking Frundi. No, we should keep politics. Now we are succeeding because we have abandoned our various
Exactly.
political objectives, aside. If Fundi wants to come in, we should look at this what is coming. Every little action helps.
Everywhere we are identified as Western Cameroonians.
He's a senior. He's a senior Southern Cameroonian.
Yeah.
He's a senior statesman, and though he has his lapses, but he has done a lot for.
All right. Okay.
For,
Next question, Mark. Next question. Eric Atanga says, what about the group advocating for war using the pretext that we need to defend ourselves?
Hello?
Yes, that is a question from Mark Atanga. What about the group advocating for war using the pretext that we need to defend ourselves?
Which group is advocating for war?
I don't know. But basically, we denounce and we do not stand for any group whatsoever, wheresoever, and for whatever reason, advocating for war. We don't. If it's hard power, because there are two kinds of powers, hard and soft power, we are engaged in soft power. That means massive civil disobedience. We are engaged in soft power. That means we are engaging in boycotts, in ghost towns, in economic bans, because in the next few days we'll be rolling out economic bans, no food to West Cameroon, because we also appreciate our brothers and sisters in the other part of the Mongo. But of course, this would be successful and progressive. There'll be no food, not because we want to strangle them to death, no, but because we want dialogue, we want to push our message, we want this to be brought to the table. We don't stand for hard power, we stand for soft power. Hard power is the use of military weapons and the rest. We don't, and we dissociate ourselves as the consortium, and as Tapang Ivo personally, I also dissociate myself from that. Because it has been proven that we win with peace, we will die with peace, and we will attain our objectives with peace. Over the years, wars have not solved any problem. It has brought untold sufferings, scarred memories down the lane, and has scarred people even physically, inflicted injuries on people, and have even ripped off families apart. When we look at the examples of other countries, we cannot follow that same path. We would follow other innovative paths of attaining the same goal using different means. So please bear with us. We are winning this peacefully and we will continue to win. Mark, let me take some questions for you. Let me see. Please, you guys should try to implement the economic warfare on La Republique things that, yeah. So Mark, what do you think about the economic warfare? Would that be another strategy?
Yeah, someone said women should not buy any fabric for the, how they call it, Women's Day. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. Start. In fact, tomorrow, nobody knows. Maybe by the end of this month, maybe by February, maybe by March, victory will be ours. For those of you who are Christians, you must have watched various prophecies, even with the pastor who is based in Yaoundé, about the ultimate victory of a Southern Cameroon. So we should not when we are approaching March towards the Women's Day, if conditions on the ground, if things have not changed, as we are moving along, we are developing strategies. It doesn't mean that we don't forecast in the future.
Mark, let me ask you a question. That this is my own personal question. Yes. I have noticed that the regime is coming after family members now, like the abduction, the illegal, the unwanted, the uncouth use of brute force to arrest a 7-year-old kid because they are going after his father, and also the nanny, the housemaid of this man, because they are going after his father. Do you encourage this? Is this right? Is this really lawful? Really? In the 21st century? Soldiers going after a kid, going after people's families just to get to the other? Believe me, you live in West Cameroon. You have your soldiers and you have your family or your La Republique forces and officials in West Cameroon. And we are running out of patience soon. If this happens again, if this happens to any leader or any person arresting the family because you want to get to that person, believe me, you will regret. You will regret ever having any official live in our territory. You will regret this to the last drop of your blood. And your soldiers and your people who live in West Cameroon should start packing out of West Cameroon if this thing happens again. If I wake up tomorrow and I hear this kind of news, that you go after innocent kids, innocent family members, of leaders, of any person who has put his head out there in the line, then you should be ready to start packing out all La Republique officials and the rest going back to their countries.
Mr. Ivo, we have condemned vehemently the abduction of Professor Abangma's 7-year son. Nobody in the world will condemn with that.
Nobody.
When you touch women, when you touch kids, when you touch children,
girls,
you are already doing a very disservice to the struggle. That is why I am reaching out to all our women. A few days ago, I posted an audio which came from a mother in the northwest, in north zones in southern Cameroon. She was crying. She was calling all women that they should come out on Wednesday after the 2 days ghost town. They should come out naked and march to the colonial governor of Northwest to request that they should bring back their kids. So I think that women, listen, the military, the police, everybody in front of a woman, you are a weakling. If our women come out, I mean, on the women, if they come out holding their hands on the women, the military is weakened. They are weak.
Yeah.
And that is a very strong key. So our women should not only cook food for us. I know they are very active online. I know they are very active also on the ground with the struggle. Our women should also organize themselves in communities to come out, because no regime fires at women. They are weak in front of women. But for us men, they know that we are the people. That's why you see they move around rampant, arresting our strong men so as to bring the struggle. But La Republique is already late. The calabash is gone. We are gone.
All right. And just to capitalize here before we conclude, Mark, the recent spate of arrest, the increasing terrorism in West Cameroon, the increasing threats to strip off the immunity of our elected, not appointed, MPs, members of parliament, the increasing threat to extend what I call extended deterrence, to extend threats to family members of individuals, all show one clear fact. The regime is confused, it's cracking, it's fracking, it's crumbling, is caving in, and these are all last kicks of a dying horse. What more can you do to someone who is already in jail? To send him again in jail? If I'm already in jail, what more can you do to me? Will you send me again in jail? We are already in jail. There is nothing they can do again to us. There is nothing. Because we are already suffering. There is nothing they can do to us. So we are already winning. We have pushed them to the wall, and they are trying now to fight and punch, but their punches are too weak. Tortoise like boxing, but the hand shot. Go on, Mark.
I don't know if there are any questions for me, but I want to make again the appeal that Southern Cameroonians, wherever you are, you have to ensure that you carry on our messages to those back home. Text messages, very short messages. Tell them no school. Tell them stay home. Tell them ghost towns. Don't go out. Don't provoke them, because these people, they are, in fact, as when we stay home and they don't have anybody to follow around to catch, they are very angry. They like to follow behind us to shoot the gun. When they're doing that, they are happy because there is no job for them. There is no job. So when they stay in their barracks, and so no, we are not guinea pigs. So please stay home. Stay home Mondays and Tuesdays, 6 to 6. Stay home. Don't go to school. Follow what the consortium is saying, because the consortium is us. Us, the people.
Okay, Mark, so we resolve here that all the diaspora, the people, citizens living in the diaspora or living abroad, we resolve here that we should make daily calls back home, right?
Yes, yes.
That we should call at least 3 family members daily so that those family members can tell other people back home to implement what we are doing or what we are saying in very short words. Stay at home. No, don't believe CRTV. Don't trust CRTV. Don't trust any official. Luckily enough, before the strike went to another level where internet was cut off, we successfully united every single Cameroonian. And we successfully won over Limbe, Victoria. Right, Mark? We took over Limbe. We won Limbe. Limbe is now our own Bamenda. The regime was very confused. And of course, we have united the entire Cameroonians. So they are listening to you. They are listening to me. And they are listening to us. So we should make these daily calls because they trust us. Even without internet and even without communications, they still trust us. They know that we have unrepentantly sought to boycott, sought to do everything to exercise civil disobedience, and sought to ground every economic activity in West Cameroon, provided our leaders are not released, our citizens are not released, and our streets and street corners and villages are not demilitarized. So please, call back home. Call back home and call and call. That you tell somebody to tell somebody to tell another person, say nothing this way, Tapangi and Mag, they don't talk. Nothing this way, Consortium, they don't talk. Please, please, diaspora, I'm begging you. The diasporans have been very effective everywhere. Even in Kenya, Ushuhidi, which means testimony, white words, or rather, in Swahili. It was very effective in 2007. Even in Eritrea, in 2010, the diasporas were very effective to stop a genocide because they were tweeting the positives against the negatives. Eritrea. In other countries, the diaspora have been very active. We have the money, relatively more than those living back in Cameroon. We should call back home. Please, just one call, just a call will spread a message. I don't know where you are. I don't know your village, but believe me, if you come from Com, I come from Womb. I call Womb, you call Com, it means we have already networked in 1 second. If you come from So, I come from Oku. I call Oku, you call So, we have already networked. If you come from Ngonoko, I come from Tan Market. I call Ngonoko, you call Tat. We have already networked the whole place. In 1 second, this is a magic. Please, don't only listen to me, but after this, please, just drop the conversation and call back home. Let's make this a huge success. Please, I'm begging you in Jesus' name. Mark, go on.
Yeah, is there a question for me? I think my phone just went off. Is there a question?
I don't know. I get internet or something. I think so far we have spoken for long. I think we also have other things doing, right? But I think we've answered most of the questions. La République kidnapped Dr. Agbob, Fontem, and the rest. Okay, someone is just commenting. Let me try to see if I have questions for you, Mark. Do we have a backup if the block calls or something, the heartless can do anything at school extreme? Someone is asking that. Do we have a backup? Do we have a backup, Mark?
Backup plan?
Yeah, backup plan.
Classified.
Classified. All right. Question for Mark. Yeah, a question for Mark. How can the consortium be further energized? How do we get a boost as that experience of Weber stood out? Have you all reached out to the folks of Kadinatumi?
I think we are already in that process. We are already making some calls, to gather much support. And we know that already South Africa was the first diaspora to formally endorse our leadership. I think also yesterday at 4:30 midnight, I was in a Skype call with the Southern Cameroonians in Canada. They were asking questions. They also support our leadership. And I think as we move on more and more, I think at some point in time, we'll be able to bring the diaspora together. I think we are working towards that. But rest assured that back in Cameroon, all the teachers, trade unions, all the lawyers, everybody supports this leadership because it was a unanimous decision.
Okay, another question, Mark. Maybe you just need to react to this quickly. Although he said, Ivo, why do you guys encourage protesting abroad? These countries have nothing to do with our problems back home. Mark, please, can you respond?
Like I said earlier, when we look at how African states had independence, the role of the diaspora cannot be undermined. When we protest at the various embassies, these ambassadors, they make notes. When they meet in their various in Jumba House, they have to talk about these things.
Okay.
Also, they might also contact their representative back in Cameroon to put diplomatic pressure.
Okay. Yeah.
All actions failed.
Okay. Yeah. Mark, just to answer that question in a very simple way, when your house they catch fire, nobody go outside. We call neighbor. You call neighbor, say neighbor, beg can't you water? You can't help me quench fire. Can't help me quench fire. Neighbor, I beg come, una come. Even when thief man attack your house, nobody go outside. We call neighbor. You blow whistle. Thief man, no, I beg una come. Thief man, no. That is exactly what diasporans are doing. They are calling other neighbors to join in to help and rescue the people back home. I hope I answered the question in a very simple and a doctor way. All right, Mark and Ivo, when are the women going to bring? When are women going to bring tacumbans? I think Mark already answered that question. Yeah, he answered the question somehow. Someone says, Florence Cool says, yes, I called my brother from Bambili, my sister in Baba, nephew in Kumbo. I tell them, make them tell their friends. Exactly. Wonderful, Florence Cool. Wonderful. May God bless you for this. Wonderful. This is exactly what we need. Please, there are more than 3,000 people already online. As I can see, 2,000 or 2,000 something watching us now live. Please, this 2,000 is already huge. Imagine you call 3 people. It is more than one. It is a chain reaction. Yes, you did chemistry, Mark. You did chemistry. You know about that. Of course, we need catalysts like platinum asbestos catalyst and Ziegler catalyst. We need those catalysts to speed up the chemical reaction. Yes, please do that. Please do that. Be the platinum asbestos catalyst and the Ziegler catalyst to do this. Yes. All right. Best and immediate push to the crisis immediate. Okay, can you guys work with Morris? That's the question. Can you guys work with Morris? We are open to everybody. We have not closed up to anybody. I think so. We are very much open. We just assumed leadership 2 days ago, and we are re-strategizing. Believe in us. We are re-strategizing quickly, even faster than you can think of. And of course, we are going to hit the mark. Please, we accept everything Morris says, most of the things, if not, that Morris says, because they advocate for civil disobedience, they advocate for massive boycotts, they advocate for ghost towns, and they have set their own goals. We have also set our own goals. The same strategies they're implementing non-violently is the same strategies we're implementing. So please, let's be rational. All right.
I think you even for those of us. Hello?
Go on, Mark. I can hear you.
For those of us who are Christians, even in the Bible, you saw Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All of them.
Why must you call your name? Why must you call Mark? Go on.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You know, they narrated the life of Jesus according to what they saw. But all of them, though they had one objective to show that Christ is the savior of mankind. So whether it's Morix, whether it's Consortium, whether it's AGC, whether it's SNC, all of these groups, the vision is to glorify, is to lift up, is to restore the statehood of Southern Cameroon. So whatever we do take, we will surely meet in Boya at the State House.
Wonderful. So the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, or Matthew, Mark, Luke, they clearly reported the events, the preachings of Christ in another way. The same stories being, the same happenings of Christ, they reported in different versions. Of course, their ultimate aim was to tell you Christ is love, and he came to restore. He came to die for our sins. And of course, he has cleansed us from our sins. This struggle will cleanse the entire generation. It is a day of sweeping. We send everything out of the house, including children. Don't go to school. We clean the house. We need sabulu. Do you know sabulu, Mark? We need sabulu, cocoa soap. We need eau de javel and the rest to clean that house. The sabulu is Morris. The cocoa soap is other people like Sheikh Yabo Womilim and the others, Beneza Kwanga and the rest. We need other people, all those people to come into the house to do proper cleaning. Once we clean, then we bring back the children inside to study in good environments. And of course, seek ye first federalism, association, and all other things will be added onto you. Go on, Mark. Any last words for conclusion?
My last word is that I call on the people of Southern Cameroon to pray for us. Put us in your prayers so that God should guide this struggle to the logical end. For those who are Muslims, we also pray that you call on Allah to guide us. For those who are not Christians, who believe in morality, also let the forces, like always say, let the forces guide us. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us, and victory shall be ours.
All right.
Good night, people of Southern Cameroon.
A last word, Mark. Someone is asking, what is the main mode of communication? Just to emphasize here, the main mode of communication is you. You are the communications person. Everyone watching me is the communications officer for this winning struggle. So please, you are the communication, not somebody. It is you. The message we put out, it is for you to communicate it, not some other person doing it. But of course, we are facilitators, but you are the communication officer. Please spread exactly our message. In any message you see with violence, it does not come from us. And any message that will say the strike has been called off, no, it is not us. And please, do not help in sharing information from the regime. When you take screenshots of those press releases and you're sharing them on WhatsApp, it weakens the struggle. Ignore, delete, and rubbish such information. Please, do not share information. If you are in whatever WhatsApp forum, do not share any information from the regime. Or do not send information to us. Say, is it true? Is it true? Don't even send them to us. Please. Please. You are weakening the struggle. Instead, the pain you take to share information, you should be sharing information from us to other people. If you are sharing information from the regime, it means you're infiltrating, you're accepting the regime to infiltrate us in another form. Please be wise. Stop sharing information from the regime. I just wanted to emphasize here. Mark, can you conclude? Then let's go to bed.
Well, my conclusion is to wish all of you people of Southern Cameroon good night. Those who are still in USA, good afternoon. In the Middle East, probably you are already about to sleep. And as we go to bed, or as we begin our day, wherever you are, put our people back in Southern Cameroon to prayers. Put our leaders, Dr. Fontem, Mancho, Dr. Bala, Chief Justice Paul Aya Abine, Mr. Penn in Bamenda, the vice principal, was also arrested. And all other persons who have been arrested in Boya, Bamenda, Limbe, Ekona, Ekumbo, and all of that. And most especially put also our leaders, Barrister Bobga, Barrister Yambe, Honorable Wiba. All of these persons, put them also in prayers. Also put also in prayers youth leaders down in Cameroon. I don't want to call their names so that I don't expose them directly to the hands of La Republique. Put us also out of the country in prayers, because like what I've been saying, being out of the country is not a guarantee to security. It's not a guarantee to security, but we are watchful, and we know that whatever happens, God is going to be our helper. This struggle, like I've been saying, is ours to win. It has been ordained by God, and 2017 is the year of the people of Southern Cameroon. Thank you very much. I love you all.
Thank you very much, Mark. I think Mark has already said all. May God continue to bless you, shower you with His wonderful grace, abundance, and endless blessings, and may He continue to hover over us as His children, because we were all, created in His own image and likeness. And may you continue to walk in His grace, and may you continue to work in His peace, and may you continue to work in His love. Thank you very much. Please be the public relations officer and the communications officer for this winning and non-violent struggle, and please spread our messages as wide as possible. Thank you very much. Thank you, my brother Mark. After this, we'll talk before we go off. Thank you very much, everyone, and stay blessed.